there's always pressure in the music industry.
Yeah. Every record could be your last record if it's
yeah, and you never want to make a record where you lose all your fans.
Yeah.
So there's always a certain amount of pressure.
What's up, everybody? It's Keefy from GhostCultMag.com, and I am joined by the guys from Dirty Honey. How you guys doing?
Great, man.
Yeah, man. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. What a weird midweek. It never feels like I guess every Halloween is great, but like you prefer it to be Friday or Saturday so we can cut loose and bug out a little bit. But unfortunately,
people were still doing that.
Yeah, did we play a show in Orlando on Friday and like we walked out of the club and it was like we were like in like the college district or whatever and it was just madness.
Was it?
People everywhere, booties everywhere.
Yep, it's creepy and scary, or very seductive and slutty, which is okay. We're not shaming anybody. We're here for everybody. Guys can be slutty too, and we're here for it.
Slutty guys out there, I'll tell you what.
You have no idea what's going on in this town. But I'm out here in San Francisco. You guys are on tour in Atlanta. Just a whirlwind time for you guys in the band. You started off this summer opening for Bush and a bunch of Guns N' Roses shows. It could not get any greater. And now you're on your own headline tour as the record is about to drop. Can't Find the Brakes, which is coming out this week, which is crazy. And just super excited to touch base with y'all.
Yeah, likewise. We're stoked.
So, I followed the band from the beginning, and I feel like we're in this, it seems weird to talk about a revival of anything in 2023 when music is, everywhere, right? It's so available to everybody, but it does feel like this year has been a stellar year for, hard rock records, strictly, and there's so many, but it's, I feel like you guys are really dialed in your sound and your songwriting for this record.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, we've been working at it for a few years now.
Making sure this record stood out.
And it's hard to stand out, and I think that's I was heading that way anyway. So thank you for helping me with my segue. I think it's hard to set yourself apart from everybody. Forget about music journalists. We all have lizard brains, but fans, right, who are really your true barometer of how well you're doing. If you really capture a fan base like you guys have, it's an accomplishment because I think there's so much coming at people and there's so many options and there's just, like I said, so many good records this year by top tier bands. But you guys definitely, I feel like you really made this record a very diverse record compared to the earlier releases.
That was a goal.
Mm-hmm.
So glad
you picked up on that.
Glad that came across.
Well, that's what we do here. We dial in and listen over and over. And, break down and analyze. So it's a really killer record. I love that it's the whole record's a journey. There's no skips. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't lie to you. I'd tell you the truth if I let you. I was I don't like this one, but it really is. It's a really strong record. The more you listen to it, it grows. And just out of curiosity, how do you guys in general, especially now with a new member of the band, recent member of the band, do you guys jam? Do you guys bring songs in individually and then workshop them together? How do you guys write a record together?
All the above, yeah.
When you got 4 guys that are all creative and have capabilities of writing, there's obviously going to be some bringing in of riffs and bringing in of melodies or chord changes that start a jam or start an idea, and they kind of get workshop from there. And then there's some where we'll jam straight up from the top. Everyone just starts playing together and the song's done in 6 minutes.
Yeah. You Make It All Right was like that.
Yeah, there's ones where Justin, on Coming Home, pretty much wrote the whole instrumental part of the song before anybody heard it, right? He brought it into Marc, and he could tell you more about it, but it was kind of really birthed through Justin on that one. Or Won't Take Me Alive with Notto's riff, demoing that out, and
I mean, they're all different. Don't Put Out the Fire, that one, John and I kind of wrote the initial riff together with him on drums, and I was playing bass, and then I was doing the dun 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 dun, and it was just that. And then over time, we put chord changes, and Marc came in with the melody, and then he put all these harmonies on it, and
arrangement grew, and things got cut and things got added, and things,
So it's really every different song has a different story to it, but none of them are done till everybody puts their input in it on it and it becomes something different, and then it's Dirty Honey, you know.
Well, that's refreshing to hear because so many times I know people, they get married to that original idea and they heard it a certain way in their head, and then the band comes in and it takes a different shape. So you have to be, you know, have to kind of put your ego aside, which can be hard. Let's face it. You know, they say you got to kill your babies or kill your darlings. Kill your babies seems a little dark even for Halloween, but you got to kill your darlings, right? But also, like, you know, a song takes a different, when somebody lays down their part, it's already different than when you came up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we had a motto for this record, which was being open to infinity. And that's pretty much, you said it in the definition there. It's just really allowing the space for everything to come through, everyone's influences and everyone's ideas, and not trying to judge things too much and or be like, oh, this isn't Dirty Honey, or this is, you know, to this or to that, you know. Try to really just kind of like let it all out, and then we'll just look at it all and see what we like, you know.
Word, I love to hear that. Do you guys feel any pressure? I think after a few years, you know, everybody's talking about this band. Fans don't always appreciate this. Tours are booked well in advance, sometimes a year or more in advance. Do you guys put a lot of pressure on yourself to make a great record, or you just kind of let it happen and see where the chips fell?
I think this one we did put some pressure on ourselves, just because, you know, I think we wanted to go to the next level, not just like show wise, but songwriting wise.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of like a personal
achievement
and goal for ourselves. Just, and then you know, if you write better songs, the shows are more fun to play. The songs are more fun to play.
Yeah, there's always pressure in the music industry.
Yeah. Every record could be your last record if it's
yeah, and you never want to make a record where you lose all your fans.
Yeah.
So there's always a certain amount of pressure, you know, but I think there was also a lot of fun, you know, on this record, and I think that everyone had a good time writing it and had a good time recording it. So there's a good amount of pressure, a healthy amount of pressure, but also a willingness to have a good time. So
right on. And you don't want to second guess yourselves later. You have to live with this. I probably made this quote a couple of times in some different interviews. One of my favorite quotes about music is by Vernon Reid of Living Colour, and I'm going to paraphrase him because I think if I try to give the exact quote, I'm going to butcher it. But he said, like, the album is not really done when it's done. It's done when we're done jamming it on stage. So songs take another life. And I do hear like a lot of live vibe in this album, whether, you know, even if you didn't record it live in the room, like it feels live. So like I can't wait to hear some of these songs in person, because I feel like a lot of this record would go over huge to a crowd.
Yeah, honestly, I think a couple of the songs are already better live. Yeah, we've like already tweaking them and be like, we should have done that on the record.
This is a live band, you know, and the recordings are live, you know, like over probably at least 90% of the record wasn't even done to a click.
Yeah.
So there's not really an opportunity to be splicing things
and
together or
as much,
really doing anything. Once the drums are laid down, there's like nothing we can do. So the live feel is definitely there because we track them live first. And then, you know, if there's little overdubs that need to happen, that happens. But then we get live, and
we're always playing everything different too. Like every night, that's how we keep it fun. And I think that's what part of what keeps a lot of our fans coming back to see the shows is like, it's never exactly the same every night.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're all playing little different licks here. You know, there's arrangement changes. Like we're always trying to have fun with it.
Tempos can be a little different, you know.
And you find things on the song. You know, there's songs that we've been playing from the first record where I'm changing them now. I'm like, oh, I should have done this 4 years ago, you know? Like
that's cool, man. I do feel like, like your music is a part of you and it lives. And it's not like, I know that there are bands that go out and they just kind of karate chop it down every night where they don't change anything. And that's cool too, because fans like to hear it like the record. But I do feel like the best bands are loose, you know, they're a little loosey-goosey on stage, and I feel like Dirty Honey's always been that way.
And it's funny, like one of the most frequent compliments, I guess you would say, that I get is like that we sound better than the records.
I think people love to hear. Most people, I think the thing about like hearing it like the record is because they really just want to hear the quality of the record. A lot of bands can't necessarily stretch out from what they exactly did on the record without diminishing the quality. But I think that's one of our strong suits is the quality of the record is always going to be there live, and it's just going to have nuances that make it more exciting or more fun or more live. Or
yeah, and that's kind of one of been our rules also. We broke it a little bit on this record, but especially John, because people could get really carried away with like overdubbing guitars. Is like it's always been like, well, we got to make sure that we could play this live and it'll sound good.
Right on. As I listen to music for review, I take a lot of notes, and I don't remember hearing that many overdubs. Just like straight up rhythm lead, maybe an occasional layer part, but nothing too fancy, nothing too wild.
Yeah. We only got one guitar player.
Yeah, and he's also a monster. So even if there was 2 rhythm guitar parts, somehow he figures out how to play.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Practice separate, So props to John for that.
He leveled up tremendously on this record. I think people are going to be blown away when they hear the whole thing and they hear some of these deeper cuts that are not the singles. Like I said, I love the variety on the record. It's very deep. There's these different journeys that the songs take you on. I think I almost prefer the slower, simmering, bluesy stuff. Not quite, I don't want to say ballads and give the wrong impression, but the slower, moody stuff, as opposed to these big, there's always going to be a big epic rocker on these records with you guys, but like I love these mid-tempo songs. Just sing, dude.
Which was your favorite, just out of curiosity?
Oh, I got the list right here. Hold on. Fuck it up. I was like, I'm gonna keep this on.
Like you only get one listen. You gotta.
No, I'm wired a certain way. Like I have to listen to a record a bunch of times. I can't just kind of. Yeah. I can't just do it. I want to make sure. And there it goes. Start playing. I knew it was gonna start playing in my headphones. God damn it. Get a little high.
Yep.
Coming home, and I was gonna ask about Ballad of the Shire. Is a great subtext there. I was like, oh, Ballad of the Shire.
There was a lot of conversation about that.
Yeah, I bet. Ride On. Ride On is dope. Won't Take Me Alive, of course. So yeah, I think it's so strong. This is a good record, man. I'm really happy to hear it. I've been followed the band from the very beginning. I think I saw one of your first shows. I think I caught you guys at a festival, and I was like, oh, I love this. Let me just eat this up, eat this up like dessert. I think this record's gonna really, take you guys to a new direction. And obviously, you're very close with Nick, right? So I wanted to ask about kind of like production. Nick is like a 5th member, he's almost like another member of the band, basically. So I was going to ask what did he bring to the table or bring out of you this go round that you haven't had in the past with him?
He really let us take the reins a lot. I feel like he's trusting us more in our decisions. But he's really open. He's kind of got like a Rick Rubin type approach to production, where he's not going in there and like changing guitar parts or rewriting melodies for us, but he's more just helping guide us to the answers. And he's really good at that. And that was one of the things that was really important about being over there with him this time was having him in the room and seeing him smile or give you the thumbs up or be like, we didn't get on the last record because we did it over Zoom.
Yeah. I mean, coming in as a new guy, because this was my first time working with Nick. Nick is, first of all, being in the studio, you have to have like a certain energy that kind of like permeates through everybody. And he's really good at moderating that energy and keeping everybody kind of on the same wavelength. Obviously, he's a wizard when it comes to tones and miking things and getting the sounds and capturing what we want to capture in the recording, but just also his ear for when you do something right, and he knows not just by hearing it, but he can see us physically that we're all in it, because we're not really necessarily watching each other. We're not able to just like look. I could see Justin, but I couldn't see John. There's a little bit of that, but he's looking at us and seeing us playing, and then feeling what he's feeling, and he's like, this is the shit. This is the shit. Or if he's
You're
like
in it, or
he's not afraid to tell you if it's not the shit.
Yeah.
He's like, that wasn't it. That wasn't the take. This take had a lot more energy right in this section. And if
yeah, and just like, because we came into the studio with like 19, 20 ideas. Yeah. And so especially while we got down to the last week where you got to start choosing what you're going to have time to finish working on, like he was really good at like pointing us in the right direction and keeping us focused. Because, everybody's got their babies too, and everybody maybe likes a certain song more than another person or wants this kind of idea, but to have Nick kind of see the whole thing from the outside, I think, you can't replace that.
Yeah. And him knowing everyone
And
and
who we
knowing the
are,
song and knowing the sound, and as you're trying to stretch and bring new life and new sounds to a band that's now technically, it's kind of the third record, not necessarily the second, but we had an EP and then an LP, and then this is the second LP. But he knows the sound, and sometimes you write something that's not necessarily fitting to Dirty Honey, and he can tell you that it's not quite hitting your guys' sound.
But honestly, like when we did Home, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is going to be on the record. Like, I don't know if this is right for Dirty Honey. And he was like, dude, you guys got to keep pushing on this.
Yeah. So he's got a perspective that's outside of us and can guide the energy in the necessary way.
Yeah.
Nice. That's always important, and it's good to have that trust and that rapport. So as the record is getting ready to come out, again, I imagine you're already playing a few of these songs live. I didn't cheat and look at the set list. I try not to spoil it for myself until after. But then like, what did they do after? But how much of this record are you guys feeling like you're gonna bring out and eventually incorporate into the set?
We're already playing about half the record. And I think once the record's released, we'll probably start playing most of the rest of it. Not maybe the whole record every night, but we'll change out songs. But I definitely want to play every one of the songs. I mean, we're already playing what we're doing. Don't Put Out the Fire.
Don't Put Out the Fire. Dirty Mind.
Dirty Mind. Won't Take Me Alive. I said that already. Bow to the Shire.
And we'll throw in Satisfied or Get a Little High. We've played. Also it just depends on what Mark's feeling that night. What we call. There's still a couple that we have yet to play live, but we pretty much played. We played Ride On even on the last tour in Europe. We kind of threw that in the set for fun.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely we played them all at our rehearsal before the tour started, so they're ready. They're ready. Well, I wouldn't say that. If you watch one of the videos, maybe we weren't ready to play Get a Little High.
I have not seen it, but I don't go looking for car wrecks. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't.
You probably wouldn't even be able to tell, but watch it back, we're like, dude, what were we?
Right. The band always knows. Now that you're kind of settled into the headline run of dates and you guys are doing theaters, which is awesome. You come from the small clubs and then these giant shows with GNR, right? Are like just a spectacle. Do you prepare any differently, or you just go out the same way every night?
Well, we've got like a whole new production for this tour. We're taking lights for the first time, which has added so much to the show. Like fans, like all the fans are like, wow, this is like a whole nother level seeing you guys live. Just having like the lights. We've got the lips as actually like a big light up sign now. It's just bigger and better.
I mean, also playing a lot longer than we were playing with guns.
Yeah.
Doing an opening set is night and day difference from a headline set. Just in terms of even just sound checking and getting a monitor mix or anything, it's a lot more comfortable for a headline show.
Yeah, because people are there, they know the songs. Like, as awesome it is opening for Guns N' Roses, you're going out there and you're trying to win fans over. Like, you're working, they don't know who you are, and you're giving them everything.
It's like a showcase. Almost.
It's a showcase.
You're just like, here I am. Here's my music.
Yeah, whereas like headline, and you got all this energy to feed off of coming from the fans who know your music and are singing along. They're both great. I mean, there's not playing like a stadium with Guns N' Roses is like mind blowing, but it's also mind blowing having like 1,000 people sing along to every one of your songs. Which is that,
You can play for 15,000 people where maybe 100 of them know your songs, or 1,000 people where everyone knows your songs.
Yeah.
Pick your poison. They both sound great to me.
Take both.
Take both if you can. Props to you guys for pulling it off and doing so well. Just for a last question, because it's Halloween, I have to ask, like, what's your favorite scary movie?
Ooh, I'm not answering that. I'll die.
Really?
Have you not seen Scream, dude?
Oh, that's scary.
That's not my favorite scary movie. That's it.
I don't know. I like all the Halloween ones.
Friday the 13th scared the shit out of me as a kid. I had like nightmares about Jason. Definitely stuff.
The first scary movie I saw that actually scared me was Poltergeist.
Yeah.
That's insane. I was just talking about Poltergeist was one of the first scary movies I ever saw, and they showed it at my junior high school of all places during a recess, and I was like, "Yo, we're all gonna be messed up from this. What is going on?" To watch that movie, like with like 800 crazy teenagers. It was bizarre. Can't go wrong with Halloween. Can't go wrong with the classics. You know.
Yeah, all the classics, all the Chucky
Yeah,
movies.
Friday the 13th. My dad actually worked on a couple of those movies, so those are like close to home.
Oh, nice. All right then. Runs in the family. Entertainment. Hey, guys, thanks for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate you. Be safe on the road. Take care of yourselves.
Thanks so
And we'll
much.
catch you when you come back to one of our towns soon.
Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks for hanging with Ghost Cult, Dirty Honey. We'll see you soon.